At the time, my mom was struggling with her own drug addiction, and I really wanted to know how I could best help her, because at the time I had limited knowledge about addiction and how to help people in addiction. I ended up changing my major to child development and family studies. I fell in love with it, and I'm gonna let you know it did the job. So I started learning all about family systems and how they work. And I actually even had an internship at a place called In Street Village. That was one of the places I started this crucial work of helping other women in addiction and homelessness. It was definitely a passion. As I tried to help my mom with her challenges in life, I then channeled that helping into helping other women as well. When I was getting ready to graduate, I was thinking about what my next step was going to be. I chose to go into a master's in social work. So I ended up going to the University of Georgia. Once I graduated from that program, I started my career as a social worker in child welfare. While I was doing that work, I noticed something about myself. I was coming home way more depressed about life in general. We're in the helping profession. Most people in the helping profession, we have humongous hearts and we wear them boldly on our sleeves. It is very difficult to then turn around and come home and just be like, well, I ain't worried about that, baby. Who can do that? Nobody. And then I found that I was spending more time at work with the babies than I was my own son. This can't be what it is. Like, is this what it is? So that was a really difficult time for me. As I went on, the caseload got higher and higher, and I just couldn't keep up anymore. And I was just totally burnt out. I lasted a total of 9 months in that job. I felt a sense of defeat, but there was a choice that I had to make between me and the job, and I chose me. And I don't fault anybody for doing that. If there is no you, there is no you helping other people. I ended up choosing to do what was best for me in the moment, and I felt also a sense of relief, but I still need to know what my next move is. At the end of the day, I wasn't done with social work, and so I ended up going to be a director of a teen moms program. It was equally as difficult in a different kind of way. Not only did I have to deal with the teen moms, but I also had to deal with management, all of that kind of stuff. It was still difficult. It was not going as I thought it would actually go. And I started feeling sick, like emotionally sick. And I'm like, I love this industry. I love helping. However, at the end of the day, I can't do this. This is just too much. And so I was like, okay, what's my next move? I'm like going from one thing to the next. I ultimately did get a position at a hospital. And let me just tell you, out of all of the jobs that I did with social work, this was by far the best. I just love the people who I work with. They were phenomenal. And I ended up working on the OBGYN floor. I was servicing moms, and they also had addiction, and they were pregnant at the same time. And I had been working in addictions even before I actually started my official career. And plus my mom had her own addiction. So I was very familiar with it, but it's a different story when you're working with a mom who has addiction while she's pregnant. You're torn because at the end of the day, you have two clients. You want to protect the baby, and you want to help the mom. And a lot of times I had to do what no social worker really wants to do, which is call Child Protective Services in order to protect the baby, but also try to help the mom get off of drugs. And so it was a very difficult back and forth situations. The heartbreaking part of it was seeing babies who were born addicted to drugs. As I was going in that job, I was there off and on for about a 10-year span. I truly believe that some of us can handle certain situations when it comes to bad news and things that are tragic better than others. And I was just not one of those who could hold it all in without feeling it so deep in my soul. And I knew that I didn't want to live the rest of my life like that. So I was playing this little game that you might have played before in your life as well. And it's called To Quit or Not to Quit. I played that game for years until I got up the courage to actually quit my job and start my first company, Kiki Ramsey International. That company was going to allow me to speak all over the world and pour into the lives of women.